What's up, people? Nature Girl 30 here. This is another mini Q&A number 84. But honestly, y'all, there's going to be some changes. And I guess you guys probably already heard there's no more Pete Yorn. I got in trouble with YouTube. They actually put a block on me because of Pete Yorn. So unfortunately, no more Undercover for the intro of this Q&A. It sucks. I know. It's one of my favorite songs. But honestly, I had to put something different on there. But if you guys have any creative ideas on what song I should put on there, royalty free for now, if you got any royalty free tunes that you guys want to throw at me, by all means, leave a comment in the comments or send me something via Twitter or on YouTube. Send me a message on YouTube and we'll work it out. And hopefully the song will be good enough for me to actually put it on my next Q&A. But for now, this is something that's just going to have to hold out for now because YouTube is being a butt. But anyway, let's move on from there. I got two people that sent me some Twitter questions and everybody else sent me stuff on YouTube. Let's get started with the Twitter questions. First from Elliot Powell. WrestleMania 31 ticket sale is coming. What are the two dream matches that you want to see at the granddaddy of them all? Okay, I have to say the one thing that I really want to see is two matches. The Rock versus Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt. I'm hoping that Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt extends on to WrestleMania. We'll see. But it would be nice to actually see cousin versus cousin. But let's be real. There's a huge rumor that it's going to probably be Roman Reigns if he's well enough. It'll be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. And then Brock Lesnar is going to lose the title to Roman Reigns. There's nothing that mentions Cena. So for those Cena haters out there, I know y'all are rejoicing right now and doing cartwheels. But honestly, it looks like Roman Reigns is going to be the guy to be the grand champ of them all. And then he's going to actually face his cousin. So my guess is that he's going to probably face The Rock somewhere on a pay-per-view down the line. The Rock's going to take a title from him for a few months, and then he's going to get it back. I don't know. That's not a plan that's set in stone, but I wouldn't be surprised they actually do try to plan that out. And your last question for me was actually your first, but I kind of went backwards. Is WWE dangerously burying themselves with the network? No. Honestly, this is kind of a tactic that a lot of people on the radio as well as people in the restaurant business use to try to get the idea in the minds of the people about the product that they're trying to sell. That's why the WWE did a running gag about the whole $9.99 thing. And that's the reason why they did a song about it for their commercial, to get you to remember it. Even though it is corny and annoying at the most that it could possibly be, it works. It sticks to your brain. So it's probably going to be it's probably an advertising tactic that is working for them at this moment. So I don't really see themselves burying themselves in this whole thing. But even though it's annoying, it actually does work. So no, I don't really see it as burying. No more power on TV and pay-per-views. Pretty much to cut back on costs. And not to mention that they probably have to have some sort of a permit to actually have pyro set off in a building. And they probably got to go through all the safety precautions as well as inform the fire department and everyone involved. That probably costs money as well. So I understand why they don't do it and they save it for pay-per-views. I understand why. It's just a cut back on cost. But let's move on to my final set of questions from Real Harold. Dude, I haven't heard from you in a while. It is great to hear from you again. Your first question for me is, what does Nature Girl 30 think of Samuel Shaw? I thought he was a great character when he was creepy, but now he's a face. I'm kind of like, meh. I hope he becomes creepy again, and I'll probably develop some interest in the guy. What does Nature Girl 30 think of Tyson Kidd? He's a great heel. Like, honestly, when he was a face with the hearts, it just didn't work. He was way too corny. It was way too corny as a face. I was waiting for him to have a heel turn a very long time. When he actually had that heel turn at NXT TakeOver, I haven't been happier. I was so happy to actually see him as a heel. It's something that worked for him, and I hope they keep him that way. But unfortunately, with this whole thing in Total Divas about him and Natalya possibly getting a divorce, I don't know. I'm hoping that won't foreshadow his career, because the guy is a great wrestler in the ring as well as being a great heel. But great questions, guys. Now I am moving on to the questions that are on YouTube. My first set of questions comes from Nintendo Fanboy 1988. What did you think of DDP's WWE run? Yay or nay? I like DDP. He had a really great personality, great flair, had a lot of charisma. I enjoyed it. I really liked it a lot. So yay. What do you think of his match with Christian at WrestleMania 18? Oh man, it's been a while since I've actually seen that. But I do remember that, well, it's not really a lot that I remember about WrestleMania 18. I do remember the entrances. All I know is that I really can't remember much of it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it on the network. Yeah, I can't really remember much of it, so I'm gonna probably just go back and watch on the network. Like I said twice. If you could bring back one dead wrestler to, if you could bring one dead wrestler back to life, who would it be? Latino Heat. I have to say I miss Eddie Guerrero. He had some charisma, some flair, even with the whole live cheat steal Viva La Raza gimmick, especially with his nephew Chavo. I loved it. I really did. I miss him a lot. He was a great wrestler. He was it was amazing seeing him come in there with the Lowriders. I loved it. Not only him as a wrestler, especially his in-ring performances were amazing. It was also the fact that of the Lowriders that he brought in there as his entrance, and I thought it was pretty cool. And not to mention one of the most touching moments of all time, even though people want to ignore it. But yeah, him and Kristen Benoit hugging in the ring forever will be one of the touching moments. So yeah, I would definitely say Latino Heat. Thoughts on Havoc from TNA and her theme song? I freaking hate her theme song. I hate it, but I love the character because I love monster heels. I love anything about a heel. And the Knockouts division needed a monster heel. They really did. Now that Awesome Kong will not be coming back ever, they needed to have another monster heel. So I am all for her. I really do like her a lot. Doesn't Havoc look like she belongs in Mortal Kombat game? She looks like one of the female members of the Black Dragons. Yes, she does. She looks like she could be Mavato's bodyguard. It's ridiculous how she looks just like Mavato. But, and also some people will say that she looked like that other guy, Cabal. Like, she kind of looks like she probably could be Cabal's sister and maybe a mix with Mavato. But either or, they did take the name from Mortal Kombat, though. Because there is a cleric of chaos on Mortal Kombat Deception named Havoc, but the name is spelled differently. But I think they actually did take that from Mortal Kombat, but either or, it works, and I love her for it. Seriously. Moving on to the next set of questions from I Love Watermelons 525. What would Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper look like without their beards? Weird. Like, they would just look weird. I mean, they will look less creepy. Like, they will look like, you wouldn't find them hiding in a van somewhere. But it would just be weird. Like, they couldn't be the whole creepy persona if they actually got rid of the beard. They look like Duck Dynasty gone wrong. So I'm hoping that if they actually did remove the beard, they'll have seriously baby faces. So yeah, they will look like baby faces. So I hope they do keep the beard. They just look weird without them. What if Bray Wyatt started wearing underwear like Cody Rhodes? Gosh, that would be odd. Because Bray Wyatt's a big dude. I mean, there's nothing cut about Bray Wyatt. He looked like he drinks beer for breakfast. He got that beer belly body. Like, and there's nothing wrong with Bray Wyatt. He has more of a stocky kind of frame. He's not fat. He's just big. Like, he has a lot of girth to him. So honestly, it would be weird him coming out there in his underwear like Cody, but Cody can pull it off. He wouldn't. Do you think Miz is better as a heel or a face? A heel. By far a heel. He tried to be a face. It was awkward. He needs to stick to being a heel. He needs to stick to being Mizzy Cage. I love me some Mizzy Cage. Okay, what if the WWE turns Rusev face? Okay, how would they book a face turn for him? Let's just say that will never happen because he's Russian. Enough said. They actually tried the whole face thing with Vladimir Kozlov, and it made him look like an idiot. So even if they tried to make him go face, that means that he would have to go face without Lana. Like, Lana would have to be somewhere else. She would have to be on her own, in her own division, if Rusev turned face. Because Lana couldn't turn face. It wouldn't look right for her. She's way too hated. So if Rusev actually turned face, it would be without Lana. So, and it would absolutely look ridiculous, because it's not that his English is bad. His English is actually pretty good. It's just that his character is a monster. So I just don't see it happening. And I don't know how they would actually book him. But either or, it would be awkward and weird. But great set of questions, man. Next set of questions comes from Jack Thrice. Do you think that Canadian piece of crap ruined Selena Gomez's life? You must really hate Justin Bieber, man. And honestly, no. I'm not going to say that he did. She made the decisions that she made. She made the choices that he made. He did not put a gun to her head. She made them on her own. Why does Celine have a deep voice like a man? I don't know. She's getting older. Women's voices change from time to time. They don't always stay high. They actually do change tones. Why does Miley Cyrus have a deep voice? Because she's getting older too. I don't know. Or maybe she smokes weed. I have no idea. I'm not going to go there. That's kind of wrong. My bad. Why does Selena have a big head? Don't know. Because I don't know. She just has one, I guess. Will Selena go into a huge breakdown like Britney Spears did in 07? No. I don't see that happening, because too many people are leaving her alone. She has an old spirit. She acts like she's a lot older than she is. I doubt she'll have a breakdown like that. That's just me. The next set of questions comes from Lino Gino. Why are you trying to keep your Q&As under 20 minutes now? Because it takes a long time to upload them. The longer it is, the longer it takes to upload, and that's why I'm trying to keep it under a certain minimum. What did you think of Alex Riley's face turn and feud with The Miz? The feud was actually pretty decent, but the only problem is after he turned face, he went nowhere. That's the only messed up part. He was as good as his counterpart, and he was as good as the guy he was actually being his assistant to. Like, when he actually was a heel with The Miz, he was noticed. When he turned against The Miz, there's only so far you can go. And unfortunately, it messed him up. But now he's a commentator, so it's not really all that bad. I really prefer him to be a commentator than a wrestler. Even though he's a great wrestler, I prefer him to be a commentator because he's out there all the time. What do you think of Alex? Okay, you already asked that. What did you think of when the Usos were managed by that transgender diva, Tamina Snuka? I wouldn't call her transgender. She's very beautiful. I think that she's a very, very beautiful woman. She just has a lot of muscle. She has more muscle than the average woman. But I don't think she's transgender. But that's just me. But honestly, I wouldn't consider her to be a manager. I would consider her more as a valet, in my opinion. Because honestly, with a manager, you'll go far beyond the Call of Duty to make sure that your people get pushed. With her, it just seemed like she was more of a valet. So I really don't consider her to be a manager at all. Who is the better crazy gimmick? Mickie James or AJ Lee? Mickie, by far. AJ Lee is probably one of those psycho girlfriends that you can calm down by giving her, by throwing a bone to her, or maybe some candy, or maybe some affection, and you'll shut her up. Mickie James will forever be nutso. Like, that's just how she was. She was just psychotic when she was loving you and psychotic when she hated you. It was just crazy all around. So Mickie James by freaking far. And the next set of questions comes from Shoro Roro Har Yor. I hope I said that right, aka the Shogun. Cream Crazy actually did tell me your name, and he can say it better than I ever can. So way to go, thumbs up to Freddie. Why are you banning all racist questions, and why do you and why do they bother you to no end? I have no idea why these people bug me. I don't know why. But like I said, I'm tired of answering racist questions. I'm tired of them being on my screen. So yes, I ban them. What do you think of Ezekiel Jackson? I think he had a lot of potential. The only problem is he sucked on the mic. His accent was so strong that it was impossible to even hear what he was saying. And that messed him up in the long run. The guy was great with the manager, but unfortunately, without a manager there'll be no push for him. That's just how it was. And that sucked, in my opinion. What did you think of the Colognes tag team, Carlito and Primo? I liked them. The guys were great. I mean, you can honestly tell that these guys were seasoned. It was in their blood. And of course, the Colognes is in their blood. But they were really great as a tag team. But let's be real. Carlito had the most push. He had the most pops. He had the most of everything because people love Carlito. Primo will always be second best. They still say the tag team. But he's second best now as the Los Matadores. So either or, he's still second best. Honestly, and that's kind of sad. He's second best to a freaking bull. That's sad. What do you think of Zack Ryder's short-lived push in 2011? And why did WWE ruin him? I love Zack Ryder. Like, y'all can hate on him as much as you want, but I watched every episode of the Long Island IZ, of the Long Island True Hollywood Story, whatever. I watched his YouTube channel show every single time it came on. And I even put a notation to remind me it was that good. And his popularity on the internet is what got him his push in 2011. But it's just that as soon as he won the title, they messed him up by pairing him with Eve and John Cena. I just think that they thought he was a joke. I think that Vince thought he was a joke. I thought that Triple H probably thought he was a joke, and that's probably why they cut him loose. It's messed up. The guy can't get over to save his life now, and now his channel belongs to the network. It's jacked up. You can't even comment on it anymore. So honestly, it sucks. It sucks for his short-lived push because the guy has potential to be great. He even changed his hair, for crying out loud, to be more serious, and the guy can't even get pushed even for that. That's sad. Is Ryder on his way out of WWE? Honestly, yes. I don't see him there for that long, and I don't think it's going to be fired. I think he's just going to walk out. I think it's just frustrated for the fact that no matter what he does, the only person that's going to get pushed more than him is Dolph Ziggler. And that's his best friend. His best friend's going to get more push than he will ever get, and that's messed up. It really is. They don't even have him on the card when they're in Long Island. That's sad. But moving on to my final set of questions from Final Limits. Damn, my mouth's dry today. Sorry. What do you think of the Katie Vick storyline? I don't even remember the Katie Vick storyline, to be honest with you. It's something that every WWE fan remembers during the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era, and I don't remember it. I really don't. I remember it being mentioned, but I don't remember, and probably because maybe USA cut it out. I have no idea. But I don't remember the Katie Vick storyline at all. I don't. I don't remember being mentioned after it was over. Seriously. I don't remember how it began or ended. But did you like the match with Cena versus Punk at Money in the Bank 2011? Yes! Yes! One of the best matches ever! Not to mention that if it was not for Money in the Bank 2011, the WWE would never have been so mainstream on social media as they are now. I actually did a video on this, but unfortunately it was so low that nobody could hear what I was saying because I was doing it at home, and that's the whole story from there. But if it wasn't for CM Punk leaving with the belt for however long he did, he actually got social media buzzing. It really did kind of integrate the WWE with Twitter, with Facebook, with all kinds of YouTube. It was everywhere. They actually kind of integrated with social media at that point in time. And not only that, it was one of the best pushes ever for that match. That was one of the most epic promos that CM Punk has ever done in his entire career. The Summer of Punk began, and the Summer of Punk ended with a bang. Seriously, I loved it. What are 5 things that you strongly dislike about John Cena? I really don't have 5 things I don't like about the dude. But I will say about 2 things. Number 1, I will go by his perception on Total Divas. He's very stiff and very cold. But yet he comes off stiff and cold. And my first one and my main one that I will say about John Cena that I don't like is how he's booked. That is it. I got no beef about the guy in general. I have no beef about who he is or who he represents. I don't like how he's presented on Total Divas, and I don't like the way he's booked. He's booked as a superhero every single time. That's the only thing that bothers me about him as a character. But as a man, I got no beef. Not at all. What do you think of Ryback's return so far? I'm a little bit disappointed because when I saw him return on Raw, I honestly thought they were going to keep him as a face, but they had him turn heel again. I'm like, people like the fact that he returned it, but he went face. Why are you going heel when people didn't like that in the first place? I don't know. What would you like to see Ryback feud with in the future? Who can keep up with Ryback? I would say Ryback versus Batista would be an interesting match. These guys are two big powerhouses and they're the same size, same hat, same similar features ish. So it would be nice to actually see Batista versus Ryback in some sort of pay-per-view, probably Survivor Series. But guys, thank you so much for sending me questions. Like I said, for anybody that has their own ideas about the music, by all means, leave it in the comment section. And of course, I'm trying to keep it below 15 minutes, but it's at 20, so I'm going to cut off here. It's the Girl 30 signing off. Peace out, y'all. Later.